You spend good money on premium black oil sunflower seeds, fill your favorite feeder right to the brim, and step back to enjoy the show. But within a few hours, the seed is gone. There is a massive pile of empty shells scattered all over your patio, and the delicate songbirds you actually want to see are nowhere to be found. It feels like a mystery, but the truth is, your backyard has just been hit by a feathered wrecking crew. Most people completely miss the exact moment the chaos starts, but if you look closely, you will see the culprits at work. And here is the crazy part. Some of these birds are incredibly smart, while others are just acting on pure instinct, but all 5 of them share one thing in common. They are absolutely wrecking your bird feeder. But here is the surprising part. Once you understand exactly why they do this, you will actually start to appreciate their genius, even while you try to stop them. What happens next surprises many birdwatchers, because the secret to stopping them is not about fighting nature, it is about outsmarting it. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let us dive into the wild world of backyard bird bullies, because you are about to find out exactly who is eating your birdseed, why they are making such a huge mess, and how you can finally take your feeder back. Let us start with the undisputed heavyweight champion of feeder chaos, the European Starling. Picture this, a sleek, dark bird with a sharp, pointed beak and feathers that shimmer with an iridescent purple and green glow in the sunlight. They look almost magical, but do not let their beauty fool you. These birds are the ultimate backyard bullies. When a flock of starlings finds your feeder, they do not just take a polite snack and leave. They move in like a feathered storm. Most folks never notice this, but starlings have a highly coordinated flocking behavior. When they hit a feeder, they will literally shove, peck, and fight their way to the front, completely terrifying the smaller birds like finches and chickadees, who will just fly away and hide in the bushes. But the wrecking does not stop there. Starlings absolutely love suet and expensive seed blends. Because of their strong beaks, they will rip apart suet cakes in minutes, scattering chunks all over your lawn. They will also dig through mixed seed, tossing out the cheaper filler seeds like milo and wheat just to get to the sunflower hearts. But here is the surprising part. They are not just being messy on purpose. In the wild, starlings are foragers that probe the ground for grubs. When they jam their strong beaks into your bird feeder, they are actually using their natural survival instincts, treating your feeder like a giant, vertical dirt mound. They are just doing what their ancestors did, but on a plastic tube. And that is not even the best part. Starlings are incredibly intelligent and have amazing memories. If they figure out how to bypass a baffle or squeeze through a small gap, they will remember it and teach the rest of their flock exactly how to do it. So, how do you stop a bird that is basically a feathered lockpick? The trick is to use starling-resistant suet cages, or switch to pure safflower seed, which starlings absolutely hate because of its bitter taste. It is pretty amazing, right? You can literally change the menu and watch them fly right past. Now you might be thinking that the next culprit has to be a big, aggressive bird, but hold on because this gets interesting. The second bird on our list is tiny, brown, and looks completely harmless. It is the house sparrow. These little guys are everywhere in the United States, and they are a constant presence at almost every feeder. But do not let their cute, chubby appearance fool you. House sparrows are actually one of the most destructive birds you will ever invite to your backyard. You might be wondering how such a small bird can cause so much trouble. Well, it all comes down to their unique feeding style and their absolute obsession with nesting. Unlike birds that politely crack a seed and eat it, house sparrows are what we call hullers. They will grab a seed, crack it open, eat the tiny kernel, and then casually toss the heavy shell over their shoulder. When you have a dozen of them doing this at the same time, it looks like it is snowing empty seed shells beneath your feeder. But the real wrecking happens when they decide your feeder is the perfect real estate. Believe it or not, house sparrows will actually try to build their nests inside the mechanism of your bird feeder. They will pull out handfuls of grass, twigs, and even the expensive seed you just bought, stuffing it into the little ports and perches. This completely jams the feeder, blocks the seed from flowing, and ruins the whole setup. The reason why is actually amazing, though. In the wild, these birds are cavity nesters, meaning they look for dark, enclosed holes to raise their babies. To a house sparrow, a hollow plastic tube feeder with little holes looks exactly like a perfect, safe tree cavity. They are not trying to ruin your day. They are just looking for a safe place to raise their kids. To stop them, the best trick is to use feeders with very short perches, or offer Niger seed in a specialized sock. House sparrows have thick, cone-shaped beaks that are totally useless for cracking tiny Niger seeds, so they will quickly give up and fly away. Just when you think you have the small birds figured out, here comes the heavy artillery. If you live in the eastern or central United States, you have definitely seen the third bird on our list, the common grackle. These birds are huge, with long, keel-shaped tails and striking iridescent purple heads that look like they are wearing a shiny helmet. When a grackle lands on a bird feeder, you will actually hear the plastic creak. They are incredibly heavy, and they do not just eat, they feast. A single grackle can eat its own body weight in food over a short period, but the real issue is that they rarely come alone. Grackles are highly social birds that travel in massive, noisy flocks. When they find your feeder, it is like a buffet line that never ends. They will land on the feeder, grab huge mouthfuls of seed, and then fly down to the ground to eat it in peace. They will strut around your yard with their tails held high, looking like they own the place, completely unbothered by anything else going on around them. This creates a massive, concentrated pile of waste and spilled seed directly under your feeder, which can actually kill your grass and attract unwanted pests like mice and rats. But here is the surprising part. Grackles are actually helping your local ecosystem. By eating all those spilled seeds on the ground, they are cleaning up the mess that could otherwise sprout into unwanted weeds, and they are eating insects that hide in the debris. Still, nobody wants their expensive seed eaten by a flock of grackles. The reason why they are so aggressive is rooted in their survival strategy. In the wild, grackles are opportunistic omnivores. They eat insects, frogs, small mice, and seeds. Because they have to compete with so many other animals for food, they evolved to eat as much as possible, as fast as possible, when food is available. To stop them from wrecking your feeder, you need to use their size against them. Grackles are heavy birds, so a weight-activated feeder is your best friend. These clever feeders have a spring-loaded perch. When a lightweight songbird lands on it, the seed ports stay open. But when a heavy grackle lands, its weight pushes the perch down, which instantly slides a metal collar over the seed ports, locking the grackle out. It is basically a bouncer for your bird feeder, and it works like a charm. Now let us talk about a bird that almost everyone loves. They are gorgeous, they are loud, and they are incredibly smart. It is the blue jay. You might be thinking, wait, blue jays are beautiful. How are they wrecking my feeder? Well, most people completely miss this, but blue jays are the ultimate hoarders of the bird world. When a blue jay visits your feeder, it does not just eat a few seeds and leave. It loads up. Blue jays have a special anatomical trick up their sleeve, literally. They have an expandable pouch in their esophagus called a sublingual pouch. This allows them to cram dozens of large seeds, like peanuts and whole sunflower seeds, into their throat all at once. They will land on your feeder, clear out a massive amount of seed in seconds, and then fly off to hide it. They will even fake hawk calls to scare other birds away from the feeder, a sneaky trick that gives them a few extra seconds to load up their throat pouch without any competition. But they are not just eating and running. They are playing a complex game of memory. Blue jays cache thousands of seeds every fall, hiding them in the bark of trees, in the soil, and under leaves to eat later during the winter. And their memory is so good that they can remember exactly where they hid thousands of individual seeds months later. But here is where things get really interesting. When a blue jay is at your feeder, it is not just eating. It is acting as a security guard. Blue jays are incredibly territorial and very vocal. When they are at your feeder, they will let out loud, harsh jeering calls that scare away all the smaller, more delicate songbirds. So while you are watching this beautiful bluebird, all the little finches and sparrows are hiding in fear. They are wrecking the peaceful community of your feeder just by showing up. The reason why they do this is to protect their food source. By scaring everyone else away, they ensure they have exclusive access to the high-calorie peanuts and sunflower seeds they need to fill their hiding spots. If you want to keep the blue jays happy without them clearing out your entire feeder, the best trick is to offer them their own dedicated food source. Put out a tray feeder loaded with whole, unshelled peanuts. Blue jays absolutely love peanuts, and if you give them their own all-you-can-eat peanut buffet, they will largely ignore your regular seed feeders and let the smaller birds eat in peace. It is a win-win, and watching a blue jay carefully hide a peanut is one of the most entertaining things you will ever see in your backyard. Finally, we come to the fifth bird on our list, and this one is going to surprise you. This bird is not aggressive, it does not bully the other birds, and it does not try to break into your feeder. In fact, it is one of the most gentle, peaceful birds in North America, with its soft, sad cooing sound and its sleek, tan feathers. It is the mourning dove. So how is a gentle dove wrecking your bird feeder? Believe it or not, mourning doves are the accidental wreckers of the backyard. They do not mean to cause any trouble, but their anatomy and feeding style make them incredibly messy. Mourning doves are primarily ground foragers. In the wild, they walk along the dirt and casually peck at seeds on the ground. They are not designed to perch on tiny little wooden pegs and delicately crack open seeds like a finch. When a mourning dove tries to eat from a standard tube feeder or a small tray, it is incredibly awkward for them. they have to balance their relatively heavy, plump bodies on a tiny perch. To get enough food, they will frantically peck at the seed port, and in the process, their wings and bodies will sweep across the feeder tray. This kicks and shovels massive amounts of seed right out of the feeder and onto the ground below. Within minutes, a mourning dove can spill half a pound of expensive seed mix onto your patio. They will then fly down, eat a few of the seeds they just knocked down, and fly away, leaving you with a massive cleanup job. You might be wondering why they do not just eat the seed on the ground to begin with. The reason why is actually pretty fascinating. Mourning doves have very poor close-up vision, and their beaks are not designed for manipulating objects. They need to see the seed against a contrasting background, which is why they prefer open dirt. When they are up on a feeder, they are totally out of their element, just blindly pecking and hoping for the best. To stop them from accidentally wrecking your feeder, you do not need to scare them away, because they are wonderful birds to have around. Instead, you just need to change the feeding station. Put out a dedicated ground feeder, or a large, wide platform feeder close to the ground. Scatter some cheap mixed seeds specifically for them down there. They will happily eat off the ground, which is exactly what they prefer to do anyway, and they will leave your delicate tube feeders completely alone for the smaller birds. So there you have it, the 5 birds that are likely wrecking your bird feeder, from the aggressive starlings and house sparrows, to the heavy grackles, the hoarding blue jays, and the clumsy mourning doves. But here is the most important thing to remember. None of these birds are actually trying to ruin your day. Every single behavior we talked about, from the starling's lockpicking beak to the blue jay's incredible memory, is a brilliant survival strategy that has been perfected over thousands of years of evolution. They are just being birds, doing exactly what they need to do to survive, raise their young, and make it through the winter. The secret to a peaceful backyard is not to fight nature, but to work with it. By understanding what each bird wants, and offering them the right kind of food in the right kind of feeder, you can stop the wrecking crew and create a beautiful, balanced backyard ecosystem where every bird has a place at the table. It turns your backyard into a living, breathing classroom right outside your window. And that is pretty amazing, right? You get to enjoy the show, the birds get a free meal, and your patio stays clean. Have you noticed any of these feathered wrecking crews visiting your backyard? Which one of these 5 birds gives you the most trouble at your feeders? Let me know down in the comments, because I read every single one, and I would love to hear your backyard stories. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on more fascinating stories from the wild world of backyard birds. Until next time, keep your feeders full, keep your eyes open, and happy birding.